Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. Woo, it's been a long time since I used to say that, right? It's coming back to me. Went a full year without missing a day. And this, pretty much, I don't think I missed too many days that the stock market was open. I said that I would try to do that. And I said for 1 year I would do live streams every day, and that the stock market was open, try to get going. So here we are, making another run at it. I think I'm going to do it for another year or for a full year, see what happens. But a little bit different this time around. More scenarios come up that you have to navigate once you have a 15-month-old. So we'll do our best. But with that, Chief Sniper reporting, 9 a.m. Yesterday, I was the Chief Baby Officer. Today, Chief Sniper. I love when people put on their titles. So just poking a little fun here. But Chief Sniper reporting. We're going to look at the first half of the live stream. We're going to look at Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, and whatever else pops up on our screen, whether it's the dollar or maybe gold, silver, whatever we at the moment take a look at and see on the watch list, maybe the VIX, all that stuff. So we'll take a look what's going on in the markets. Comments. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, that was me. Okay, Matt. Wow, first stream in a while. For you, we started on Monday. You're 2 streams behind. On Monday, we did a live stream, hour and 40 minutes, the first one in a long time. Yesterday, we went a full hour. Today, probably gonna, as we cover more and more, unless there's a lot to cover, we'll try to keep in that 45 minutes to an hour range, but never know where it goes. I told my wife that on Monday. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do, that's the first one. I'm just going to do 30 to 45 minutes, get back in the swing of things. Sure enough, hour 40. But there's a lot to talk about. If there's not a lot to talk about, like the market's just ranging sideways forever, then you don't need to go into much, keep talking. But there was a lot to talk about. There was some big moves and stuff like that. So Good morning, Tomas Ortega Garcia. Too early in the morning to try to roll my R's. And if I do, then if I did, then it would bring up probably some good laughter on your part, because my broken Spanish you would laugh at. So with that, this is the Bitcoin daily chart. Might as well just get right into it. I had that big move down on Friday, the 10th, and it was a sell signal, right? So on Binance, every exchange looks different. And so it's good to look at multiple exchanges, in my opinion, because one might give a clue versus the other. Like if you never looked at Binance and you never looked at Bitstamp or any of these other exchanges, Coinbase, blah, 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 and you're just watching Bitcoin futures chart only, price never went all the way down to 108, 104, 102 or anything like that, because the market was closed. So I like to look at multiple exchanges, charts, futures, all that stuff. So it's still bearish on the daily chart until proven otherwise. The trending dots are trending downward. It closed here, like the wick. The wick, a lot of people like to buy the wick, and I swear this caffeine is going to kick in soon. Until then, we'll do our best. The wick, many influencers love, like it's a badge of honor, and I've seen this since I've been posting a lot on Twitter since early 2021, right? I've had an account since 2009, but I literally never posted anything on there until 2021. I was lucky that I was still able to get into it. I had to like reset the password, all that stuff. But it was cool that I still had the Twitter account Jesse Olson, no underscores, nothing. It's like I thought it was cool that I still had like the 2009 no underscore, just Jesse Olson, right? You can't find that anywhere on social media now. So I guess it's a more common name than I thought. But anyways, a lot of influencers love to say, I bought the dip, right, on the wick. And, you know, either they're doing it for clicks, right, on Twitter X, and like it's a badge of honor, like I'm the hero, blah, blah, blah. But if that is your strategy for real money, you're going to be guessing wrong a lot. Could you guess right one time, 2 times? Sure. But out of 10 times, you might guess once or twice right. And being 10 or 20% right is not enough for me. I like to stack the probabilities in my favor, and I'll never be 100% accurate. But I really want to be 7.5, 8 times out of 10 correct, right? I don't want to be 1 or 2 times correct. I can't. I'm actually using real money. So if you're using real money, that's not a good strategy in my personal opinion. Maybe you're just the luckiest guy on earth. I feel pretty fortunate, but I wouldn't say I'm the luckiest trader on earth. So with that, I have to stack probabilities in my favor. And over time, those probabilities need to win out. Otherwise, I need to go back into the mortgage and real estate business, right? Which I retired from in 2021. So there's that. Speaking of which, I'm going to go see two of my closest friends today for lunch in Newport, and they're both still in the mortgage game. Still, one of them was a coworker for a long time. The other one was also a coworker, and we were business partners for mortgage for a while as well. We were building a team back in the day, so always good to catch up with the bros, the old bros. I'm the youngest one in that group. Let's see, the 50 and 48. Yeah, I'm 46. So yeah, I'm the young one in that group. Both those guys are really successful, really great, cool to be around. So anyways, long story short, Bitcoin still bearish on the daily chart. We got some other charts to look at too for Bitcoin. Don't worry, we're just getting ramped up here, getting warmed up. Let's see, which one is... I had the RSI sell signal back here on the exact same day as the sell signal, right? So RSI sell signal lined up with that. You can see it's just trending downward, right? The band is trending downward. The trending dots are trending downward. So it's in a downtrend until proven otherwise, right? It's in a downtrend until proven otherwise. So the way you have to look at it when it's in the downtrend, if you're being unbiased and you're just purely going off of the charts, right? If you're just purely going off charts, if this is a high, this is potentially a lower high. And you can really only call them in hindsight, but that's the hindsight crew. So we will call it out in real time, whether it's going to be a lower high or a higher, or this is a higher high, remains to be seen, right? Over here, I was pointing out, okay, this was a high, this is a lower low, this is a lower high, and then I pointed out, will this be a higher low, or will there be a lower high taken out? And we didn't know for sure. It was trending downward, but then it reversed back around with the buy signal and went up and made new all-time highs at 120 on Binance, 126, 200-ish, right? Now, if you come all the way down, this could be a lower high. If you take out this pivot point here, basically a lower low. This would be another milestone of a lower low. This would be a bigger milestone. So if you get a candle close below this pivot point, then that is even more significant in my opinion, right? And you could probably even draw out trend lines and all that stuff with it. This is the longer, like a more of a midterm, longer term trend, upward trend that's been broken. So this trend going back from April, which there's so many gotcha reply guys out there that they're like, oh, you've been bearish for 1 year. I'm like, if you only tune in at the local tops, then you're going to see that, yes, I'm bearish at the local tops. However, if we're gonna call strikes and balls on both sides, right? I did post bullish divergence here, right? I did post additional bullish divergence here, right? If we're just calling balls and strikes as a neutral umpire, right? I called out the bullish divergence here. I called out the bullish divergence here. And then I posted the chart right there where bullish divergence plus a buy signal, right? So at that point, I had targets, expecting targets to get hit to the upside. Did I call out that we're going to make new all-time highs? No, I didn't. I didn't call that out, but I called out target 1. Here, let's change that to yellow so we can see a little bit better. Target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, right? And what I've always said in recorded coaching, all that stuff is, if it breaks through target 4 and flips that resistance into support, expect higher, right? So that's what it did. And if you were in this position down here on this nice setup with bullish divergence followed by reversing, that's a higher probability reversal. You could push that trade. And then if you decide, hey, this is where I'm getting out here, right? That's still a great move. And then, of course, you could play another one here, right? And then they become less and less as it starts rounding up, right? So yes, I was bearish January, February, March, right? And then when there was bullish divergence, I called that out in April. And I don't think you saw too many bearish posts during this move, right? During that move, so all through May, right? April, May, coming into June, I don't think you find too many bearish posts at that point because we're hitting targets to the upside, right? So, and not that I have to prove anything to anyone. I'm just I get a lot of replies, so might as well address it while I'm on the live stream because you can't really explain it in one reply post. But they got me. They got you guys. Got me. So this upward trend line's been broken. There was a sell signal. Almost 3 targets hit. Multiple candle closes below the upward trend line. Multiple candle closes below the trending dots. It's just in a downtrend right now on the daily chart. Woo, RJ. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Long-time market sniper. Good to see you on here. Love it. Love to see it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. So it looks like a possible lower high, right? Let's see. Let's put on arrow. This is what I'm talking about. And then you just go lower high. It's not confirmed, right? So that's when it's not confirmed, I'll put on the question mark. So I'm calling it out in real time as, is this going to be a lower high? We don't know if it will or not. Just as right here, I put out, is this a lower high? I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, a lower low. Is this going to be a lower low? Confirming the lower high, and then it reversed back around, right? So that's why I put the question mark on there. If there's no question mark on there, like I could just go, like if there's no question mark on there, I'm just going to go high, right? That's a high. Is this a lower high? Question mark. I don't know. We don't know yet. So some other milestones, bearish milestones would be candle close below here, right? This is what I'm watching. Candle closes below here. And candle close below here, which is basically very similar to that other one, pivot point. So you start getting candle close back below there, and the probabilities are going to increase significantly that we're going to come down. And even closing here, the probabilities are increasing. We're going to retest target 2. I mean, it looks probable that we're going to retest target 2. And you start getting candle close below target 2 at 106,500-ish, then we're going to hit target 3. If you get candle closes below target 3, then the probabilities increase that we're going to go down and hit target 4. There's several reasons for price to retest target 2, take out this pivot point. There's several reasons for price to come down and hit target 3. There's several reasons why price could hit target 4. So will it? We don't know for sure. We don't have a magic crystal ball. Trading bot. Trading bot in the background. Taking trades on futures. It's the big boys game. Trading futures. All right, there you go. So that's the daily. I wanted to look at the weekly. There's still no sell signal on the weekly. This was almost This was almost a bearish engulfing candle. It was until the very last few hours of the day on Sunday. So I think it closes at 5 p.m. It's going to change once daylight savings switches. So it confuses me like half of the year, but it'll switch back to 4 p.m. But at 5 p.m., the candle closes on Sunday for the weekly, and on the daily at 5 p.m. as well every day. So it was basically a bearish engulfing weekly candle, and was saved at the last moment, probably to trap some more bulls, right? Up to 116. And if any weekly close back below the 114, and then you close below the 112 that I've pointed out, basically the same thing as a bearish engulfing candle, in my opinion. Basically the same thing. It's the same idea. You're still taking out this area, whether it's in one candle or two candles, right? So it wasn't a bearish engulfing candle. You can see it better if I take this off. It wasn't, but if you're closing below it anyways on the very next candle, there's no difference in my opinion. And then of course, close below here, and that would be a lower low on the weekly chart. And it hasn't made one of those in a long time, right? Here's a low, here's a lower low, here's a lower low on the weekly chart, right? And there's a 30% correction on that one. So this local top was a 32% correction. This local top was also 32% correction, I believe, from wick to wick. Yeah. So this local top, at least is a local top, you would expect at least 30%. So that would be, I think that was like around target 4. Again, now if it's the top, there's several reasons why we can make a case for the top. Let's start with this indicator. It's picking up the longer term bearish divergence for you, right? So it's picking up the longer term bearish divergence. Once there's a lower high in the weekly, that is the higher probability that we're going much, much lower than the 32%. And then in hindsight, you can call it a bear market, right? And the previous bear markets all lasted about a year, very close to a year. And we knew that going into 2022 and planned accordingly. I was shorting ETH multiple times on the way down in the Discord, talking about the exact pivot point at $3,408 on the bounce in February. Bitcoin was at like 48,000. I was talking about there were several big accounts still calling the bull run is on in February of 2022, and we're going back to new all-time highs. And I was talking about I'm shorting the bounce. I'm shorting the bounce. I'm shorting the bounce with 10x leverage on Ethereum, and we crushed it. I said a lot of people are going to be surprised when Ethereum goes below $1,000. Let me check. Yep, it went below $1,000. So once a lower high is put in, you're going to hear the confidence. Oh, dropped my marker. I always have something in my hand. Mouse, markers, pen, something. Always playing. But once there's a lower high, like on the daily chart, you'll hear the confidence increase. Once there's a lower high in the weekly chart, you hear the confidence increase that we're going much lower. Because until then, let's see. Let me turn this back on. Until then, yeah, it's very similar. Yep, even from there. Okay. It's speculation, right? It looks like it's going down. And, in hindsight, this was a local top of 32%, right? It was not the top. And I even talked about it then. I said, we don't know if this is the top. It's at least a local top. And it was 32% correction. This is going to be at least a local top with most likely, there's no certainties, no 100% guarantee of at least 32% drop. It's only dropped 19% so far on that wick, right? So the way it's setting up right now on the weekly chart, and with all the October influencer bros trapped, right? October. I mean, if that worked every time, that'd be crazy. But it doesn't. The same thing doesn't work out every single time. You just got to know that. So you don't want to put too much weight on anything. Like even if you show 9 Octobers in a row, the 10th one may not be. Just because it is in the past doesn't mean it's going to equal that in the future. And this is where people get in trouble. They bet too heavily based off of what they've seen in the past. And we've even witnessed this on the trading bot. I had settings on one trading bot where there was no negative months for like 23 months in a row. And then went live and there was a negative month. I mean, there's no way around it. You just have to know that you can back test 23 months. You can back test 9 Octobers in a row. And none of that matters until you go live with real money in an account. And then you find out, what's going on after that. So forward live testing is the only thing that matters. You can only stack probabilities in your favor to the best of your ability and then see what happens, right? Based off of what I'm seeing on RSI with the bearish divergence, I would be surprised. I genuinely would be surprised if price doesn't catch up to relative strength, which is bearish. Relative strength is leaving. Could there be one more bounce? Yes, there could be one more bounce for sure. But the relative strength is leaving. So how would that look? What would that look like? Let's see. Like this. Say there's another bounce. That could be like a lower high. And let's see. And similar to like here, where it comes down and bounces up, or it comes down, bounces up here like that, and then comes back down. So the difference is relative strength was up here in the 60s on the weekly chart, and now it's at under 52. So if there's a bounce, maybe it's more similar to down here on this bounce, but it may just drop first. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But relative strength is leaving the building. Oh, trading bot. God, every time I get alert, I'm like conditioned to look at it. So when it happens on the live stream, I'm like, what's it doing? What's it doing? So yeah, that's relative strength is leaving. It's not at the bottom pumping up. It's slowly making its way down over time. So you can see as it's making higher highs on price, you can see it's making lower highs on RSI. So you got long-term bearish divergence, and there's an RSI sell signal on the weekly chart, and eventually price is going to catch up. This is me staring at charts obsessively for several years, looking at the same setup for several years. This isn't a new concept that I'm testing out and rolling out. This is the tried and true for me. So this is what I'm seeing on the weekly chart, and the weekly chart is setting up where you get that close below 112. It's basically a bearish engulfing candle, even though it didn't happen on the initial candle, and then the confirmation of the weekly chart going lower, or the higher probability confirmation, right, is taking the closing below 108,311. Could it still bounce up from there? Yes. But in my opinion, at that point, if you get a weekly close below that 108, the probabilities are 126 was the top. So we don't know for sure yet. It's just, it's only Wednesday, right? You still have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday before the weekly close. The weekly close could close back up here, and everything that I'm talking about would be out the window. But it doesn't seem like it's going to do that. It's trending downward, especially on the daily chart too. So that's where we're at on Bitcoin. That's a lot. Where are we at? 27 minutes just on Bitcoin alone. So let's see what else. Let's take a look at some other things. But yeah, that's what we're looking at on. Keep an eye on the candle closes on the daily chart, and of course the weekly chart. Keep an eye on as well. What's the 2-week chart look like? Relative strength has been leaving since February 2024. It takes time when you're looking at higher time frames. It takes time to play out, but it continues to leave. Relative strength continues to decrease while price is going higher, and eventually price catches up. So that's even on the 2-week chart. So anyways, we're about to find out. There we go. Here we go. The chart. Jesse. So posted this chart back here at the top at 123. Posted the chart again at the bottom and circled this area. Would price bounce here, right? Posted that on October 11th. In hindsight, it did. Then I'll post it again. I'll keep it updated, but the next move would be daily candle closes down to this level, similar to here, right? So that would probably bring you to like target 2 or target 3, maybe. No, what was it? I can't remember. That's probably pretty close to target 3. So that makes sense. Like if it came down here to like 106, what is that? 106? No, that's target 2. And then bounces. But it may wick all the way down like it did on Friday. So if it wicks down, this doesn't show the wicks. So if it wicks down target 3, closes at target 2, bounces around, and then continues down to target 4, right? Then maybe there's another bounce at target 4, and then you're closing back below target 4, you're in a bear market for sure. for sure. And I wouldn't be waiting for closing below target 4 to make a decision personally on is this a bear market, right? But that'd be like another milestone, because then it's going to be going down lower than 32%. It would be lower. It would be a correction bigger than a 32% correction, which the local tops do multiple 32% corrections to target 4. If you start closing below target 4, that means you're getting into the 38, 40, 50% corrections. And, stocks, you say like many definitions say a 20% correction in the stock market is a bear market over 6 months, blah, blah, blah. If you're on Bitcoin, in my opinion, if you're below target 4 and the correction is bigger than 32%, nowadays, like the last 4 or 5 years, last 4 years, I would say it's heading into the bear market. That's not just a local top correcting 32%. So all eyes on that. So if it closes below these pivot points, right? Closes below. I mean, you could draw up some other trend lines here. That doesn't look great, right? That would be the first line that I would draw. If you want to keep the hope and dream alive, right? There's another line. You could take it from back here. Right? That's been broken. That's been broken. So you can have your own thoughts on it. I'm just showing you what I see on the chart. So it's not just me being bearish, right? I was bullish back over here. I was bullish at 16,800. I had all those charts posted. I talked about it all through 2022 on Twitter and the Discord, talking about we will be ready. We will be ready. Just give the market snappers one more. Just give the market snappers one more bull run. One more bull run. And I thought lesser to the upside, lesser to the downside. And sure enough, it's a 126 is the top. Then it's lesser to the upside. It's about I don't know, from the very bottom wick, but from 16,800, it was like 500%, but taking multiple swings along the way. It's not like I captured 500% on one move. Like I'm swing trading on the daily to the upside, right? So there's that. But we were ready for it all of 2022 while shorting Ethereum, because Ethereum drops more than Bitcoin to the downside. At least that's what I thought in 2022. And I would think that again, the percentages are bigger. So anyways, we were ready for the end of 2022. The plan was to wait for a higher probability reversal to the upside. And we got that January 4th, 2023 at 16,800. There was bullish divergence at the bottom, just as there's bearish divergence at the top. So it's the same but different, right? It's the same but different. What else? All right, let's move on from Bitcoin. I can never stop talking about Bitcoin, but there's the Ethereum. I'm just pointing out the lower highs on Ethereum, right? And we're still continuing to watch it. Ethereum did hit 3 out of 4 targets so far. Bitcoin got close to hitting target 3, but did not hit target 3 yet. It was saved right before target 3. And if you look at Bitcoin futures, only one target's been hit so far. So that would be I don't believe this would happen. I don't believe the market bosses would allow this to happen, where on the exchanges, Bitcoin hits 3 targets, but on Bitcoin futures, it does not because it was closed. So at the very least, Bitcoin futures is going to go back down to where Bitcoin was on the exchanges, so that all the charts look similar together. Otherwise, there's so much of a difference that it wouldn't look good, right? They want it to look good. If they're going to be running the casino bosses want the charts to look aligned, right? So Bitcoin futures was closed and never saw any of that, the liquidations, right? So the futures probably want to make its own liquidations and take out leverage longs themselves so they can participate. So I don't believe that Bitcoin exchanges would go to target 3 or close to it, and Bitcoin futures does not, and we go up to $150,000. We would go down here first if we were ever going to go up to 150, right? So down first. And again, if we're coming all the way back down to these levels, that was the local top. Closing below here, the weekly charts would look bad. 2-week chart would look bad, blah, blah, blah. And another milestone is candle close back below here. Basically, I don't know how you don't call that a bear market at then. So those are all the things we're watching. Ethereum, Algo. This is if you're trying to hold on for hope for, don't say it, Jesse. Don't say it. Altcoin season. Oh my God. I hope for an altcoin season. The closest thing we got to an altcoin season, I played it. My mom played it. Several people I know played it, but it was only like 3.5 weeks long, right? I flipped my mom's altcoins. She had XRP, Algo, XLM. And in November of 2024, she had HBAR. If that was the only alt season that we really got to play, that's cool. I tripled her account. I mean, she tripled her account. But man, I wanted much, much more, right? I was saying I want to flip my $10 into $100. I would love that. That would be great. Purely on spot play, not even leveraged on altcoins. You don't need to, in my opinion. And it's too crazy anyways, right? To try to catch a move like that on leverage, it's insane, right? We caught this move in November and 3x the account, right? Well, my mom 3x. What was it? 3.4x? Yeah, I turned $10 into $44, right? Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully we have some fun along the way, even if that means making fun of me. I love breakouts. I love to play this to the upside. I really want to play a move to the upside, but I'm not caught up in the altcoin season narratives. I've seen alt season all through 2022. Big accounts, big influencers, all the way down, talking about alt season, alt season, alt season, alt season, alt season, alt season. This is the closest I got to an alt season on Algorand. Still a massive move, but it's not like what we had hoped for, right? Hoped Algo would go to $2, right? Hoped it would go to make a new all-time high. Hoped we would go into the promised land of $5 or $10. If it does, that would be amazing, right? I would be all for it. I'm not an altcoin alt season hater. Man, I would love to. I was all over this move there. I was all over it back here, posting it back in November, hoping, waiting, hoping. we don't know if we'll ever get an alt season on some of these altcoins. XRP was one of the ones that had you could say in alt season, right? So if it took out the 2021 highs, that was the closest thing that we saw on XRP, 500% from bottom to top. That was it. No 10x, no 100x. I'm sure there's some meme coins, but I don't follow them all. Now it looks different. Now it looks like the bearish divergence. Now it looks like the weekly chart had a sell signal and is breaking down. And I must have taken. Why did I do that? I always do that. I forget. But take down. What am I doing? SMA. I just like this to have it on my chart. So let's put it on. See 200 chart. Let's keep the weekly, and then style. I've talked about why I put on the 200 several times, but right. So if that was it, if you're holding out for $20 XRP, you probably going to be a forced hodler again. It doesn't look great right now. It just doesn't look great. So there was bearish divergence. Broke this trend line, RSI sell signal, right? Regular sell signal. Broke that trend line, closed below it, right? So, was that alt season? I don't know. First of all, you got to trade each chart individually, right? First and foremost, in my opinion, right? So it's, yes, some of them pump alongside each other, like XRP, HBAR, right? They pumped alongside each other, but now it doesn't look great. So you had that move in November as well, HBAR. This is a weekly chart. Now it's breaking back down. So, but in November, it made a new all-time high on this exchange from 2022. HBAR made a new all-time high. Now it's just, was that it? Maybe. I mean, if you're not playing it to the upside and then locking in gains, they were unrealized gains. And now if you are lucky enough to buy down here and you didn't realize gains at 500, 600% in a matter of a month, because you're expecting 10,000%, then you're greedy. And now, if you held through that whole time, maybe you sold down here. Maybe you're still holding and you're up. But the reality is a lot of people buy here and sell down here, right? So that's the reality. Most, not all, but most people probably do that, and then they're down 50%. And then fetch, right? I was showing what a bear market looks like, and I posted this. I said, in case you forgot what a bear market looks like. So you had the all-time high over here, September 2021. Fetch did go on to make an alt season of its own, right? 1,300%. And that was all the way a long time ago now. March 2024, it peaked 1,300% from the 200-week moving average, right? Massive move. That's an amazing move. Now it's been in a bear market ever since. So if you look at it from March 2024 to the wick down here, wick to wick, down almost 97%. Way below the 200-week moving average. It's in a bear market. There's still people holding fetch. There's people still hoping we see altcoin season on fetch. And it's been in a bear market since March 2024. So That's not my strategy. If for example, since we're on the weekly chart, if the weekly chart and you're buying down here, right? Say you're like, okay, I'm going to wait for the buy signal, blah blah blah, and it's pumping. There may be bearish divergence here, starting to reverse, very wicky up here, starting to reverse back down. At one point, do you lock in gains, right? At 540%? Are you looking at the daily chart and you're locking in like 675%? Are you waiting for a weekly candle close below the trending dots? Are you waiting for another bearish engulfing candle? Are you waiting for a sell signal way down here? If you're waiting for all that on the weekly chart, right? Still not bad at that, 300%. But at what point are you locking it in? Like, if you look, there was bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence on the weekly chart, bearish divergence on the weekly chart, followed by an RSI sell signal. So there are signs, bearish divergence followed by RSI sell signal on fetch. And there's people still holding through all this, hoping for an alt season. Well, that was, if you were trading fetch, that was your alt season. Now it's in a 97% bear market for, March. That's it. A year, 18, 19 months now, right? So have a plan and do your best to execute that plan, right? What else? Yeah, let's look over here. TQQQ. My 106 put doesn't look amazing right now. It looked amazing when it hit $94 in the aftermarket. It was $96 on Friday. So it's probably, it's still in the green, but ay. 106 put. It's fine, but it looked a lot better down here. And actually went down to $94 in the aftermarket. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Google, Meta. This is a weekly chart. Let's get back on the daily chart. What else? Oh, I'm not seeing too many comments over here. Oh. I hear my dog barking. I don't know if you can hear all that, but what else? Kind of getting rejected, the trending dots. Hello. Good morning. Rose. Okay, you got it. So we'll do that. Already did Algo. Already did that one. So, there's not much more to talk about on Algo, but I showed it. I showed Algo. So you must have missed it. Rose, we can take a look at that. VIX. The VIX. SPY. Is that going to be a lower high on the SPY? I SPY. Dollar. Letting the trending dots catch up. One target's been hit so far on the dollar. What else? Gold. That's crazy, right? Crazy. I put that target out 2 years ago, and there's receipts for it on Twitter X, and I put the silver target out same long time ago. Hey, it was breaking out at $26, and now it's making new all-time highs. So it's wild. If silver hits a similar target as gold, I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense where it could go. But I think I had it on the other silver, spot silver. Where is spot silver? Do I have it on here? I don't know. Let's see what else jumps out at us. Then we'll cover the requests. Rose, I think it's the only request I see. I can't see the comments on Twitter X. I can. Oh no, I can. What am I talking about? I mean, that's on Twitter X. So it says can't post comments to some destinations. So when I posted Good Morning Market Snappers, it looks like it only went to YouTube, right? It did not go to Twitter X. All right, here's the real VIX monthly chart, right? Weekly chart, daily chart. Did anyone else buy some calls? Gambling. Apple still below the trending dots. Mom got out right here. I have the text message to prove it. Mom got out right here. Lock in some gains, bruh. T-Dot, when are you going to hit target 3 and close that gap? That's what I want to know. PayPal, when are you going to fill some gaps? When are you going to retest the 200-week moving average? Ay. Maybe never. Hive. Let's see. That's the daily chart. There's the weekly chart. Is Hive going to hit some more targets, or is it just going to be stuck at 1? Bitfarm hit 4 longer-term targets. Ultra bullish. Marathon Digital. Breaking out, right? Hasn't gone ultra bullish yet. I don't know what I was doing, but CLSK, ultra bullish on the weekly chart. Veritone, 54% today. I didn't even see that. 54% in one day. What the heck? What a gap up. I haven't even looked. Oh my gosh. Normally, so my routine in the morning is charts, right? Look at the charts, check out my positions, stock, the options, the futures, the trading bots, crypto, all that stuff. Check all that stuff. But I had to wake up with, I took the baby woke up at like 4 a.m., right? And so I just, for whatever reason, sometimes it's rare, but for whatever reason, I don't know if she had a bad dream or what, but she just won't go back to sleep. So then I just kind of like lay with her on the floor and she'll fall asleep in my arm, and instead of the crib. And then instead of like put her back in the crib right away, like I doze off a little bit, and then but I'm like still awake, mind is still going, stuff like that. And then she was out at like 5 a.m. So I put her back in the crib, and then I went back and took another nap myself, and then woke up later than normal, woke up past 6 a.m. because I needed a little bit more sleep. And then, so I didn't get to check all of these. and see that Veritone actually gapped up. But that is amazing. 54%. Wow. You can't predict the gaps. Long story. TLT. It's not one of those fast movers, but I've been talking about that. It looked like the bottom was in. This is looking like a higher low over here. So that's the weekly chart. And sounds like my wife is around here making noise. So TLT bullish on the weekly chart. Still have that. HUT breaking news has hit 4 out of 4 targets to the upside. Let's see what else. Four out of 4. All right, so let's wrap this up, and then let's get into some of these requests. We'll take a look at Rose. Make sure to put in not only the ticker symbol, but the asset class. So some of the ticker symbols, kind of overlap. They are, crypto and stocks have the exact same ticker symbol. So just for search purposes, let me search for it real quick. Let's start over. I haven't looked at it in a long time. Here is the daily chart. So doesn't look bullish, right, on Rose. We took out this pivot point from April 2025. 1 cent. Let's zoom out here on Rose. There's not much really to talk about on Rose. Rose has been in a bear market since January 2022. It doesn't look great for Rose. There's not much to say. Had one nice bounce there. Like if you look at the bounce from here to here, you had a 300% bounce. But it doesn't look great. It's lower than it was on this exchange, on Binance. It's lower than it was in November 2020. It doesn't look great. It's well below the 200-week moving average. 200-week moving average is moving down, right? It just does not look great whatsoever. Took out this pivot point here, came all the way down here. I mean, there's not much really to talk about there. Near looks very similar too. So not much really to say. Only hit one target on that tiny little bounce, right? Has been in a bear market since January 22 as well. Had this nice bounce here, probably again 300 something percent, right? In 400%. Put in another lower high here, right? This is a okay bounce there. It's just bearish on the weekly chart, right? It does not look great. It's just not looking like, alt season, right? For a lot of these coins. Like it's just in a downtrend. So until there's bullish divergence, until there's a line break, until there's like pivot points, right? Making a new all-time. I mean, it doesn't look great. So unfortunately, if you're a hodler, it's not going to feel good right now. It's looking like vapor. One thing I talked about so much going into the 2022 bear market I said be careful with your altcoins because not all altcoins are going to survive, right? Think of it as like when it's so much speculation, not all altcoins are going to survive. And there was a dead cat bounce on this one. It's looking like a dead cat bounce, 300 to 400%. But you probably didn't get out of it if you bought up here, right? Because then you still have to admit that you're wrong about your coin and you're still down 50, 55% or more. So you probably didn't even get out then. But if you had, say, $10,000 in or $1,000 in near, and then it was worth what $70, right? And then it bounced to where you're back up to $500 out of the 1,000. You're back to $500, but you held it for multiple years and you lost, but you never sold it, right? Now you're back down to like the same investment worth $70 4 years later, right? So there's never a guarantee that we're going to go back up to all-time highs on any asset, right? Look at Intel from I think it was Intel from the .com market crash. Until recently, I don't know, I'd have to look at Intel, but 20 years and never made a new all-time high. 20 years. And that was like a big player back then. So there's never a guarantee. That's near. Yep. What's up? Oh, what's up, my man? Long time no hear, no talk. Good to see you on here. Everyone hates bonds and the dollar. Everyone wants to buy the top in Bitcoin instead. Yeah. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Yeah, so the dollar, on lower time frames is bullish, could hit some more targets to the upside. If it flips like the 200-week moving average and the higher time frames start to flip bullish too, could be something. TLT seems like the bottom is in, but still has some work to do. Like even if it flips bullish on higher time frames, you're still below the 200-week moving average. So probably get rejected at least once there. But like on the daily chart and stuff, my wife got into TLT, right? So what else? Yep, I agree. Covered it. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Yes, sir. Welcome back. $1.93 on near. Okay, so are you just holding $1.93, right? Average price $1.93. Yeah. I mean, Rose took out this pivot point. Rose came all the way back down to here. Rose is different than near, but what if near comes back down to $1? There's never a guarantee, right? Never a guarantee. Brett. All right. Brett USDT. I've never looked at Brett. I'm assuming this is a meme coin. So if so, there's probably not a lot of chart history, and then there's not going to be anything to look at, right? Because I need chart history to be able to look at it. But since you asked so nicely, I appreciate that. USDT. Let's see if I can find this. Brett USDT. So Bybit. I was expecting Binance, but let's see. This is the 2-week chart. So I don't know if near will come back, just like we talked about on Rose, if near comes back to this pivot point and to this pivot point. But if it does, near would be $1. Not much to tell you. Daily chart is bearish. Weekly chart is bearish. Bear market since November 2024. %95 drop. Ugh. That's all we got for Brett. Let's see. What else? Is there anything else? I think someone had me look at Serve yesterday. Yep, there you go. I'm like, what is Serve? Bitcoin. Ethereum. If altcoins look similar to Rose and it's coming all the way back down, right? Then, I mean, you could kind of like probably draw something out like right. So, yeah, this breakout right here, or false breakout here, it was drawn like this, right? You know, I was hoping for a huge bounce on Algo, and it was a tiny little loss. But right in here, I don't know, one of these days a couple days before the big drop, I was like, Mom, let's take a small loss on Algo. Let's take a small loss. And then I think it was, I don't know, it just wasn't looking right. It was right here, and then this break back down into it. Yeah, it was on October 7th, pretty sure. I'd have to look at a text message, but pretty sure, because it was looking like a potential breakout here with the candle close above and a buy signal. And then it reversed right back down. And I don't want to watch my mom's account too closely. And she's retired, right? She's retired. She's not going to respond to me instantly and then whip out the crypto app and buy and sell like within seconds, right? So I was like, let's just take a small loss, close it out. It was tiny, because if you're looking at like here to whatever, it was like 4%. It was like a 4% loss. It's not a big deal. And then, not knowing we're going to have a big liquidation event, keep an eye. Is it going to break out? Is it going to break out? It didn't. And then it broke down, right? So if we hadn't got out, she would have been most likely down 30%, because she wouldn't have gotten back to me right away. And then maybe she would have gotten out, I don't know, as it's bouncing, right, by the time she got out. But it'd be down 14% right now. But it took the 4% small loss, and it is what it is. So I hoped for it. But if you're going to take a buy signal, don't forget to also hit the sell signal, right? So unfortunately, I would love an alt season. I would love it. I hoped for a 10x alt season. I hoped for it. But at the end of the day, you can't let that influence your decision making, right? You have to stay neutral. Oh boy. Let's see. Oh boy. yeah, with that, I got to wrap things up and go check my positions and make sure those shorts are looking good. Make sure I'm positioned as much as I want to be. I won't ever be over positioned. I'm not going to be one of the ones. I'll be one of the ones that say, I told you so, but I won't be one of the ones that say, oh, I made, you know, millions of dollars on this crash, blah, 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 because I'm not going to go all in, right? But I will make more than holding through a bigger correction, right? I will definitely make more than that. So with that, hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully you're reading the charts as they are and not as you want them to be based off of all the noise, all the narratives, all that stuff. That's why we chose to start the Discord, block out the noise. And even then, I still found out that people still have a hard time executing a strategy, even if it's laid out in advance due to emotions. 3 years ago, it took me down the rabbit hole of automation, and soon I'll be rolling out some of those automation trading bots. And the first one is built on this indicator right here. The other one is built on this indicator here. Of course, I have extra filters on there. That's not even on these original indicators, but I kept the original indicator and then added filters to it, added position management tools, all that stuff, kept all the visuals, and it will be possibly rolled out this week. Worst case, it would be rolled out next week. You got it. You're welcome. You're welcome. So stay tuned. And the recorded coaching will be grandfathered in for those who are still in recorded coaching after all these years. It's just a monthly subscription, and that will you'll still be grandfathered in. But the automation is going to be rolling out, and I'm not going to provide exact settings. I'll provide settings, but not like on every time frame for every single trading bot. My hope is someone spends more time than I do on each trading bot and finds an amazing setting to run these trading bots on and shares it with the group, and we all level up together on every single trading bot possible. I know I could easily find a profitable setting that covers the monthly subscription, at least 2-3 times a month without even trying. So I'm sure someone will find something that 10x's their monthly subscription on the trading bot. I'm going to go so cheap, you're going to be like, what? So with that, full automation. I've been in it for 3 years. Now I'm going to be rolling it out. And I have made like 30 trading bots. I'm going to start with these two, the flagship indicators, with extra filters on them, with position management tools, take profit, stop loss, trailing stop loss, move stop loss to break even, time filters, you name it. Like everything is on these. So just working out. I don't want to do full automation trading bots unless the website's also full automation. So that's almost done. We're working on it this week. So if not this week, definitely not next week. So stay tuned with that. With that, I hope everyone has a great day. And we'll see you on the next live stream. You got it. You got it. You got it. Thank you. Have a good one. Yeah.